Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Zach and Tony Show podcast. I'm Zach.
I'm Tony.
I'm Kasey.
Thanks, Kasey.
Yeah.
Today our guest is Kasey Foster. I've worked with her a couple of times, just kind of in little different ways, but you're, I dare say, the most accomplished, or at least the busiest, and most intimidatingly busy, I would say, guest that we have.
I was stalking your Facebook last night.
Oh, great.
And I didn't friend you yet because I was going to wait to meet you to friend you. Instead I'll just be some
It'll
weirdo.
mean much more that way.
It would mean way more, right? And I was looking at your stuff. I was trying to learn about you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what the fuck?
Who has this much shit list? Well,
I feel like not everybody updates those.
That's
you
true.
know, it made me like, I don't even have the fact that we do this.
You gotta put that in there,
or my music on there. Mm-hmm. I have I think I have 2 jobs ago.
See,
my job on Facebook.
The good thing about Facebook is it can serve as the IMDb of
Totally.
Individuals.
Well,
and
have you noticed too that it seems like it's now popping up more? I don't know if this is just on my feed, but usually it'll be like people's pictures. But now that's the first thing that I see.
Yeah.
Is the what
is
they
the
do?
about thing? Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
Like what
Maybe
do you mean on the sidebar?
Yeah, like it's fully extended. Before it was just it would have like the first worked at blah blah blah, and that was the only thing you could see. But now it's got the whole
everything.
thing open all the time. So
That's
that made me
really
be like,
important.
maybe I should keep up on this thing.
I haven't noticed, but
Maybe it's just my crazy computer.
No, I could see that. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It's way
A
cool.
little loud in our ears there.
But no, the thing that pops up the most on my Facebook is usually things about list pictures of boobs mostly.
Oh, boobs! That means you
women.
search a lot of boobs.
You
yeah,
have
I guess so.
What you have is
Or I click on a lot of
virused out Facebook.
No. It's totally legit Facebook accounts like Cheech and Chong or posting these things.
I thought you meant like the friend. I get friends, guys and girl porn sites.
No.
Guys and girls, by the way.
That's our Instagram.
Sure, but those are not real girls, probably.
No, they're like virus bots.
Yes, they're
I'm
some
like,
sort of bot.
Yeah, where like a girl has like a G-string on as her profile picture, and I'm like, what normal human being has? And then,
but let me take a look just to be sure.
I'll just make sure that this is
awfully suspicious.
This is awfully suspicious, but let me just look real quick. What I have noticed is I have started getting people friending me who are normal-looking people, and then I see they have like 4 friends, and I'm like, oh, what is this?
4 mutual friends or 4 friends total?
Just 4 friends total.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yes.
And then somebody on there is usually a mutual friend because they're the asshole that clicked on it and friended them.
Yeah.
And now
so now you can like double top secret find out your friends that click on and accept bots as
bots.
Ooh.
But
they don't
it's
care.
hard
Short
though,
for big old
because
titties.
sometimes
Exactly.
my grandmother just friends everybody. Everyone, my father, everybody that comes in, just friends them all. Doesn't
That's
check
not
to
a
see.
good idea.
Yeah.
Some people do that though. I guess. To each their own.
Old people.
Fucking old people.
Old people do that. Stupid old people.
So every
Fucking
time you get a friend request from a bot, it's your dad. That's like,
When will I get his friendship? Yeah.
I thought I knew the guy, and I didn't want to like not friend him just because he's wearing an S&M mask.
Gross. Kasey.
Well said.
Kasey,
Yes.
a few of the things that you did list on your Facebook.
Okay.
I won't list them all, but you've worked for huge things like Looking Glass and Steppenwolf, and Red Moon.
Yes.
Which is no
R.I.P.
longer a thing. Yeah.
True.
But they were huge in their day. And that's crazy. What is your favorite thing that you worked on in a theatrical sense in the Chicago theater?
Wow, my favorite thing is a really tough question. They've all been very different, but I would say what I call the golden age of my time at Red Moon, which was when I moved here in 2004, 5, 6. They did a bunch of really interesting shows there. We got to do a lot of physical and clown and a lot of experimental weird shit, which was very fun. And then also, of course, lots of puppetry. And then, everything has its lovely parts. And I just recently got back from Berkeley, California, where a show I did at Looking Glass in the fall into winter. Then we took 2 months off and then did it at Berkeley Repertory Theater. I was there for 3 months. that was a whole thing I'd never
Damn.
done before. It
Yeah.
was exciting, but very glad to be back. I just got back on Monday.
Cool.
What's the show? What was the show?
It was Treasure Island.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they're all so unique, and I guess the thing I haven't done much of is already produced work. Most of it's been devised or adapted stuff.
Even at Looking Glass?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess, Treasure Island would be...
Treasure Island,
adapted.
Moby Dick, and The Little Prince were all kind of...
Yeah.
Actually, I think The Little Prince had been written into a play before. Anyway, yes. So that's all very exciting.
But awesome. All right. And
Continue.
this is one that Tony likes to ask on his show.
Ooh.
What was your worst
Oh, yeah.
Chicago theater?
Okay,
and you
I'm
don't
not-
have to name names or
I
anything
won't.
like
Because
that.
everybody wants to know the best. And I'm
Yeah.
always like, fuck that.
What's
Yeah.
the worst? Well, I will say, I'm not going to say anything about where or with whom, but what made it so bad, and everybody has this, I think you go through it, but it was just a show that nobody would go to, and if they did go, they would leave at intermission, and you just felt the failure so thickly, and sometimes failure's okay,
Yeah.
but this particular show, and then also
How long
one
did
of
it run?
my castmates, I think it was like maybe 3 weekends.
Oof. Yeah.
What a perfect way to describe it. I felt the failure so thickly.
Ugh.
Yeah, and sometimes failure's like not a bad thing
Right,
because you're like,
absolutely.
I'm being weird and you guys can't handle it or whatever.
Right.
But this you knew was not well made, and
Because other
Maybe
failures
they
were
do.
walking out being like, well, this guy's a failure.
I'm doing way better than I thought I was. Yes.
Yeah, that sucks. I've experienced that too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And how do you deal with it? You just
Everyone
kinda
a little different, and every moment of those a little differently.
Sometimes you just get weirder and weirder in what
Yeah.
you're doing. That's what I tend to do.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
that's a good plan. Yeah,
you know
just
what I
really
mean?
start to
Just
creep
really,
them out.
Exactly.
And they'll
Just
be like,
really
that was so creepy at least.
lean into it, as they
Yeah.
say.
Oh,
Just,
I'll do that
Yeah.
next time.
there won't be a next
You
time.
don't like this?
There won't be.
Get
Well,
weird.
eat
Just
this.
lean into the horror of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Embrace the boogeyman.
This is good advice. You should start an acting class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lean into the bad.
the Zach and Tony acting studio.
That'll be for your next podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. We will create horribly
Just
young
acting
generations
advice.
of actors
Great.
who will go out.
Who will filter through the profiles theater?
They'll put you guys on your resume. Oh yeah, that whole thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was
I
going
heard
to talk
about that when I
that.
was in Berkeley. I was like, "What's happening? Everybody's exploding on Facebook
Oh,
again."
God.
So he's done.
Yeah, they're
Done for, but the whole company too,
Mhm.
right?
I've never heard.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's well deserved. But I've never met the guy. Have you met the guy?
I think I auditioned for them when I first moved here, and the strange part was, and maybe this is normal in some areas, but of course you don't go to Chicago after college and have a lot of money. But I went and auditioned. They're like, "You're cast. Now you pay us for the class you just got cast in." So it wasn't like I got cast in a show. It was
Right.
like, "We'll accept you to pay for this class you'll take." So I never ended up working with them because I didn't have the money at the time. But now I'm like, okay.
And
that
also
wasn't a
fuck
bad
them
thing.
too. Like,
Yeah, forget you.
forget you.
But yeah, so that was very
That was
Quick,
a big. That
too.
was a big to do.
Yeah.
quick turnaround. Quick turnaround.
That's why I was amazed. I was even thinking they shut it down so quickly. Like the community shut that down so quickly. It makes me wonder why it takes so much longer for other things to get taken care of.
Yeah.
You know what I
Probably
mean?
because it's the people that he makes money off of. It was the people that come to his shows were the acting community, right, and the
Oh, right,
and the
yeah.
artistic community, and B, the people who his casting was the artistic community,
And
then
the
when-
people
when
who
it was-
people who he tricks into taking his
Right.
his acting
Yeah.
class.
Everybody-
are also
everybody-
catching wind now.
everything about him, he was just ostracized completely, and there's just, and apparently, listen, I hate, like, this is how badly I hate it. Even when the whole Cosby thing happened, I always take a few weeks to be like, let's see what actually happened.
Yes,
I,
of course.
I hate casting the first stone. I hate it.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But I will say this about the guy: every picture of him that I saw, he screamed douchebag.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he screamed douchebag. All the pictures of him, like one, he was in a duster for one of his shows.
Right.
Just like,
Wait,
what's a
God.
duster?
Well, like, the big long cowboy jacket.
Oh,
and it was
yes.
probably
Okay.
just a prop and costume for
But
the show.
still, he's like, I'm gonna need this.
Yeah, and he just looked like a douchebag. And then my girlfriend Jackie, who was a longtime agent for Stewart, she said that he cast himself as the lead in every single show.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is also
basically.
like, okay,
That's
you're
what I
also
read.
That's major.
you're kind of a
douchebag, yeah.
sociopath. Like,
Yeah.
what do you? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what do you?
Spread it around, fella.
Yeah.
Or also, do you really think you're perfect for every fucking lead in every show? Well, like, there's no way.
I kind of wondered what the rest of that company was like, because I don't know anything about it, but were they all aware, or I'm sure...
I asked a similar question,
You know.
but apparently he was the head and manager, production manager.
I've read a few of the things now, and so what it kind of was he's like the artistic director, and he actually had a partner of sorts. I don't even know. I don't really know either of their names.
Yeah.
But the partner was there before him, and this partner even kind of turned him away when he first auditioned to be with the company. Until eventually he just kept coming back, and he's like, all right, you're great. And then he sort of kind of weaseled his way into a position of power in the company, and they really started a sort of bond and a friendship, those two, that maintained the head of Profiles Theater up until its recent demise.
Wow.
And it sounded like in the articles that the other guy essentially just turned a blind eye to it. And not only that, would help him create phony other company members to, like, photographer, so-and-so is the historian, which is really just a combination of other people's names, and these people didn't actually exist, but there would be blurbs in newspapers and publications with these people and that kind of thing. Like, it was pretty deep.
Yeah.
The way that it would go.
Way more involved than just a douchebag.
Right.
So sociopath, is that the right term?
You know, I never understand. And also narcissist.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But what are the differences between those two things? I've always been confused. And also borderline. What is that too?
Sociopath. That's like to quote our friend. What is gender?
What is gender? Yeah.
Sociopath, I believe, is manipulation is involved, like psychological manipulation, correct?
Almost to the point, I think so. Almost to the point where you convince yourself that what you're saying is true, and what you're doing is right, and what you're saying is you convince yourself of the alternate reality that you created.
Yeah,
I see.
So you don't even know what's
Right or
real
wrong,
and what's not, and what's right and what's wrong.
So maybe he's not that, but he's definitely manipulative and seems narcissistic.
Yes.
From all the articles that we've read. For sure. And he's borderline none of those.
And he's all in.
I don't know. I mean,
I guess would be almost.
I don't know what borderline. I think borderline is actually a nice way of saying. You're like saying well, he's borderline.
He's borderline.
Is that what it is?
As in, he's not full on.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not a full asshole. He's just.
I'm
he's borderline
borderline.
asshole.
Yes. I see. It's good. Got to stay fresh on these terms.
Exactly. Well,
Good.
sociopath gets thrown around like
A lot.
fucking.
It's kind of a way to insult somebody.
Exactly.
I'll never meet the guy, so I don't care. I don't competition for anything. So.
Yeah. So what are you guys doing right now?
Well.
Oh, Tony's got big shit going on.
Give us the scoop.
Big shit. Well, he's got big shit too.
Give us the scoop.
This is my big shit. This is what I'm working on.
Yeah, Zach and Tony Show podcast.
One man, two beers.
1 man, 2 beers, 3 questions.
Which will be next with Kasey.
Uh-oh.
Then Man Called Noon, the band.
Oh.
We got
Who did this art?
We got a little thing on the wall.
Jeff
very
McLaren. And a combination of Jeff McLaren came up with the graphic, and the cover was done by Aaron Myers. Jeff McLaren is our web designer, and Aaron Myers is our, poster person,
Yeah.
and friend of the band.
Graphic designer.
But Jeff came up with the actual graphic, though. But, yeah, and so we have a show. We just played Ribfest. We have a show at House of Blues on July 1st. Just stressing me out right now.
Oh, why? Because you're...
Ticket sales, we promised way more than we...
Oh, I know.
But I think we could deliver. And the biggest thing is I was smart enough to know to be hesitant about picking July 1st for the show. Because we
That's a Friday?
It was a Friday, but it's the July 4th weekend.
Sure.
And people are out of town. And we thrive on the local crowd, as I'm sure you do for a lot of the things that you do and that you do. I should be saying. I hope the House of Blues isn't going to listen to this.
I'm tagging House of Blues.
Oh shit! Shit!
I actually work there, so this is fucked up.
Oh God!
In case you don't tell anybody.
We're bringing 1,200 people.
Perfect.
Let me write this down.
But so you're worried that it might not be what you've
Right.
promised.
And we did well in January. We did very well in January. And they invited us back, and we are. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're playing House of Blues,
Yeah.
but as far as like progressing, business wise and community wise is growth for the band. I think we'll just keep this level.
I feel like that's the most stressful thing is like getting new people to hear your stuff.
Oh yeah.
And you can, your friends of course love and support, but then at some points you're like, but do you really? Like, if you didn't know me, would you believe in it this much? And you sometimes kind of lose. I don't know.
The doubt creeps in.
Again, the feeling of like, am I a failure? Yeah.
The doubt creeps in, and what's funny about it for everything that we do, whether you're a comedian, whether you're a musician or a dancer or an actor, I feel like everybody handles the doubt in a lot of different ways. But there's two different ways of handling it. One is what we were just talking about, where we're like, fuck you, like, I'm stressed about. If people actually believe in what I'm doing, do I actually believe in what I'm doing? Or there's the incredibly arrogant, incredibly believes in themselves, overly believes in themselves, and that's how they get through it. Is they just put up a complete blind wall to it, and of course there's
A real sociopath.
a real sociopath.
Word of the day.
But I think most of us lean towards like letting the doubt creep in every once in a while.
Just every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Every once in a while.
Late at night when you're in bed, you're like, maybe.
Actually,
late at night is the worst.
Yeah, in bed.
Late at night is the worst. That's why I choose to pass out if
good,
it gets to be, if things are winding down.
I can't do that.
I pass out easily.
I know.
It's great.
It's my
You
favorite
can't sleep
attribute
well?
of yours, but I'm so jealous of. What's
Honestly,
You can't sleep well?
that? A lot of it has to do with me being a bartender, but no. At night is when I'm my most creative, and I am also my mind won't stop beating me up in any way, even good ways, I guess. But in bad ways too. It's abusive.
I've heard of this, but I think you and I are similar in that I sleep instantly.
Just
I hit
go
the
to
pillow
sleep.
and I'm like, I mean, I
I'm
don't
so
snore.
jealous.
Of course I don't snore, but
Well, you wouldn't know, would you?
I record myself at all times, naturally.
As any musician would. And that brings me, since we're talking about bands and recording, you have like 18 bands too, right?
There are too many, I think that's true, yes.
It's awesome. This is awesome. I love your resume.
Yeah, the one that I know I know 3 decently. I know 2 probably are tied for the ones that I've seen the most. And that's Babe-alon 5 and Grud. And then there's Old Timey.
Old Timey is what do I want to say here? It comes out when you least expect it, and it's very rare.
Niche.
Very rare appearance. Although that is the one show I have coming up is an Old Timey show that got booked kind of by accident. But whenever Babe-alon isn't available, Old Timey happened. I started that band before Babe-alon, and it's all old school music, but it's just me on vocals. Babe-alon's got 3 vocals, 3
okay.
females.
I was gonna say I thought that they were the same
They're
trio,
very
just
similar.
different music.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now if I'm gonna book something that genre would fit, I'm just like, well, let's do Babe-alon if everybody's free. But if not, then I'll do Old Timey. But I feel like Old Timey might, In fact, I'd gotten a suggestion to just call it Kasey Foster when we did the show with Liz. Charlie was telling me, he's like, why don't you just say it's Kasey Foster? Because they're using their names. And I was like, that's not a bad idea.
Why don't you say... actually,
Liz hates it.
Really?
If I can say, Liz is
Oh,
looking
yeah,
for
give
a
me the
stage
stage.
name. Liz is looking for a stage name now. Now, Kasey Foster rolls off the tongue a little bit better, I think, than Liz Chittister.
Or say Old Timey with Kasey Foster.
Maybe.
Or something like that. Because I like the name Old Timey.
Well,
I love your name, too. I'm just saying. I think it's a good band name.
The confusing thing about Old Timey is when I made the name, I was thinking of it, it's like old timey music, but there is actually a genre of music called old timey, and it's OLDE timey, and it's all like bluegrass and Appalachian type or Appalachia. I don't know if I say that right. But anyway, so it's kind of confusing for anybody who knows that genre of music. Anyway, but good to hear that Liz is not so keen on it.
She's the opposite of what Charlie was recommending. And I can't disagree with her. I do think that I think that some sort of label that you can give yourself that might also coincide with your music I think just sticks in people's head more. I
agree.
don't know.
I agree with
I see.
Liz.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think it's much easier to market Man Called Noon than it is to market
Tony Giamichael and the so-and-sos or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, should we come up with a name for Liz's band right here, right now?
We could.
And since it's on air, she has to do it.
She has to do it. It'll be
What
locked
should it
in.
be?
You know what? The band name I really liked was a singular person, and now it's got the connotation of like emo and stupidness to it a little bit. But Dashboard Confessional, I thought that was a great.
Yeah, it does stand out too. Yeah.
And you were like, what is this? Like, what is? And it's just one guy on a guitar, and it's and his name's Chris Carrabba, but he goes by Dashboard Confessional. I thought that was.
Yeah.
Liz could definitely do something like that, but good names would be
Hates to Drive.
Oh, wow. Nice. I like that.
I confess nothing in cars.
Kind of like Hates to Drive. I feel like you just named it.
All right.
It's kind of good.
It's locked in.
That's good.
Liz is now Hates to Drive.
You're welcome, Liz.
There you go, Liz.
Geely is a bad movie. Oh, yeah, it's true. It's true. No, people would be confused by that.
And so, real quick, these other two bands that
Yes.
you listed, the Dangerous Strangers.
Dangerous Strangers, yes. That was something from a while back, and the two Bivens brothers, Evan and Matthew Bivens, used to be in a band called Jump Little Children. They also formed this band in South Carolina, and they came here. I became their singer, but again, this is one that's, I should probably remove it from my website because we haven't had a show in a couple of years.
Okay.
But I would say Grud, Babe-alon 5 are the two moving bands right now. And Grud is all original music that...
and Spectacle a little bit.
And Spectacle,
right?
yeah, we have an annual
I've seen that
big show.
That's the one
you
I've seen.
did? Which one did you go to?
Martyrs?
Yes.
A year ago?
Yes. Okay.
And speaking of Martyrs, you're always at Martyrs.
That's true. So I worked at Martyrs for about 9 years now, and every once in a while I will go in
Oh
as...
my god, that's right!
Yeah.
That's also where I know you from. Holy shit! Oh, okay.
Martyrs.
It's all
We've met,
coming
and
together.
I didn't even know we met then. Probably I've seen you, and you've served me, and I was like...
I'm sure. But, it's kind of one of those things when you see the person who gives you coffee every morning at a place, and you see them on the street, you're like, how do I know that person?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, right.
Because I originally met you
You're
at
not
Logan's,
wearing the smock.
I think. At Logan Connors, I believe. For
What's
an
this?
Awesome Monster podcast.
Yes.
I met you there.
Oh, yeah.
With your partner in crime for Grood.
Charlie.
Charlie, yeah.
Yes.
And your husband now, if I'm...
He is my husband.
Your husband.
Yeah.
You know
Mistaken.
who he looks like? He looks like James Franco's little brother.
Dave Franco.
Dave Franco.
I've never
Doesn't he
seen
look like Dave
Franco?
Franco?
He does.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy.
I'm gonna have to Google
This is
him.
not. If he's listening to this, trust me, this is a
It's
good.
not a dig.
This is not a dig.
Yeah.
I'm
This
going to
is like
Google
a-
him and
Yeah.
masturbate to him. So. Just kidding. But I'll
Just-
check it out.
You have one of your own. What's the point of
I mean, why
that?
do
Yeah,
I need that?
I know. And you might be kidding, but I'm not. After this, I'm gonna go Google Dave Franco.
Yep.
There you go. There you go.
Dave Franco, and then Google your husband, whose name I think is Charlie.
Charlie Otto.
And I'm going to put
yeah.
them right next to each other.
Compare and contrast, and yeah.
I think you'll be
Just
surprised.
go to town.
I'm going to Photoshop it
Just
so it
go
looks like
to
they're
town.
kissing.
Yes. Oh dear. Watch out.
Anyways, now it's getting
Silence.
now it's getting too hot in here. We need to cool it off a little.
With our next segment.
Well, real
Oh,
quick,
go ahead.
we should do a feature on why you're really here, like what you're
Oh,
here
yeah, go
plugging
ahead.
in particular,
Yeah.
which we'll repeat at the end as well. But this is, you want to particularly do jock jams, right?
Yes, a dance tribute to Jock Jams.
Hell yeah!
And
Which I'm sorry, I flaked on Kasey, everybody.
I will never
and
forgive you. Ever,
She won't,
ever.
and I don't blame you.
Well, were you supposed to be part of the project?
Yes, and she offered me to come on board right at the same time as the schedule was coming out for a play that I had auditioned for.
Which
And it
congrats,
just
by
was
the way.
like, thank you. I think I don't know. The people in that play might also be listening to this. I wish that I could do both. I'll be, I can say that.
Yeah.
Let's just not tag that and House of Blues. We'll tag.
Yeah, we
House
just
of
won't
Blues
tag that stuff.
and
But
that.
I certainly wish that I could do both, and it was just the kind of thing where it's like I made that commitment, and then you kind of came in right behind it, and I was just like,
Yeah, well, check it out. This thing is always bringing in people who are available, and then when they're not, they can do the next one. It's very low commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Each piece has one rehearsal, so it's all very loose and fun, and I'll just kind of spiel about it real quick, since I'm already talking. But yes, so Dance Tribute, this will be the 6th one now. The first one was to a group called Mr. Bungle, which is my all-time fave. But Jock Jams, everybody knows Jock Jams, and I select my favorite of the Jock Jam songs and set them to choreography, and then I'll bring in guest choreographers as well. And then it's a live performance of these songs of our past at Martyrs, which is a bar, and the show lasts in North Center. The show lasts about an hour, and then after that, it will be a '90s inspired dance party spun by DJ Nasty Bowie.
What's his real name?
Hot.
That's me.
Oh.
But I have a great image. DJ Nasty Buoy. It's my head on a water buoy, and all my backup dancers kind of do this as though they're in the water. Yeah. So anyway.
Hell yeah, I remember Jock Jams. Also, was I in one of these, or was I in a different dance thing?
What were you in?
The duck hunt.
Yes,
thing.
yes, you were in the last one.
Okay, so that was
Aphex
the last
Twins.
one. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes,
Okay,
you
yeah.
have been.
Who helped with the dance for the last Otter Deck?
That was a guy by the name
Theater.
of Tristan Burns or Bruns. He's a tap dancer.
That's right.
Mm.
We should introduce them to Kasey.
Yeah.
They're
Is
always
he
pretty-
by any
Tapman
chance-
Productions.
I think yes, anyway, that's a whole different story. But yes, I would love to hear about them or their information.
Yes.
Well, I will say that yes, the dance tributes are a lot of fun. I have seen one and I've been in one now, and they're a great time. They're a great time to be in one.
Awesome.
Being in one is great. Casey, you managed to get so many snacks.
Oh yeah,
for
Snack
the green
master.
room. Enough snacks for like 60 people, 60 dancers or or actors and or musicians.
I love that
To be,
comment.
it's hilarious.
Listen, the reason why I like working with you is because there was always food available
No.
and
But check
readily
it out,
available.
it is true.
It's
People feel
def-
taken
Oh,
care
fuck
of.
yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Big time. Big
Absolutely.
Time. So they're a great thing to be a part of if you have the chance or opportunity to be a part of one, but also go see it.
Yes.
What's the cost?
Well, we have to raise the price a little bit in order to cover the snackage.
I mean,
which
yeah, you
is
gotta
the
pay
most
for
important
snacks,
part. But so it's $10, and it's
$10
Monday,
is
July
nothing.
25th, and it is. I do think my favorite thing to do as a producer for sure.
You
$10.
can't even get into a movie for $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, $10, absolutely nothing. I thought you were gonna be like, we had to go to 20 for Chips Ahoy, and I was like, $10? No, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you
So-
Well,
15.
good.
What do you consider yourself? What's your primary thing? Dancer, actor, musician?
I think that after the amount of time I've been working on myself, I guess, as a performer, it has to be a balance. So if I feel like there were 2 years there where I was really heavy into music and I wasn't doing a lot of theater, and I started to feel a little off and kind of wanty. It's
Yeah.
not a word, but so
No,
then
but
I
I
was
know
like,
what you're
okay,
saying.
well, I need to take on some sort of theater project, and then I also have always loved doing choreography, so I didn't know how to get into that, so this was like, well, maybe just make a show that I choreograph, and that'll balance me out in that way. So I guess whenever there's a pocket of time, a couple of months, I know I will be not in work with band or theater, I'll be like, hey, let's make a whatever. So, but just a healthy balance, I'd say. But as of this last year, I've done a lot more theater than I had for a while, so I'm kind of riding that train.
on tour.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You seem to be the busiest person. You seem to be the person that's the busiest that I've met here in Chicago, and the person who knows everybody. Like, I feel like everybody I talk to has met you in some way, shape, or form, which is really cool. I think that comes with being busy.
That's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know. Lots of good people here.
Where were you before this?
Before Chicago, I went to school and grew up in Indiana, small town Indiana. My parents live on a farm, and I went to school with Amish people for a while, but they don't go past 8th grade. But I will say one interesting story.
What?
Have either of you been around Amish people?
I've been to an Amish settlement or whatever to buy corn.
I bought their eggs.
Yeah.
There you go.
They were good eggs.
They have one day a year, or one day in their life before, I think it's whatever age it is. How old are we when we leave 8th grade? Like
14?
14, yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's in their 14th year, but they can pick one day to not do any of the traditional Amish rules. So that women well, they were all girls, but they let their hair down and they wore normal clothes. But I remember when they came into school, everybody was like, because they looked so completely different.
Yeah.
So that was very exciting for them to see, for everybody to see. But anyway, yeah. So went to school in Indiana. I went to a college in Indiana as well, and then I moved out here once I graduated.
What college?
Purdue University.
Purdue University.
In Fort Wayne, Indiana.
So not
Not Lafayette.
not Lafayette. Yeah.
Right. Where'd you guys go?
Virginia Commonwealth University.
Oh, yeah,
in
that's
Richmond.
right.
Thank
That's
you.
right. A lot of you came here. Yes.
Yeah, there's
okay.
a lot of
Correct.
us.
That's awesome.
My aunt and her son, my cousin, both went to the Purdue in Lafayette.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom went to Ball State.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And they grew up the majority of their lives in Indianapolis. So. Yeah.
I love Indiana. I gotta say, it gets a bad
You should.
rap.
It's your home.
Yeah.
And it should get a bad rap. It's very weird.
It is weird, but it's also so lovely. It's hard to understand.
It's strange politically. I would
That's
say.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Florida's gotta be worse than Indiana.
Oh, Florida's definitely worse. But Indiana's like that Midwestern state that's like, Indiana.
Yeah, come on.
What are you
What's
doing?
going on there?
What are
What
you
is
doing?
Virginia like?
Virginia is very neutral, which I say that
We got
not
ABC
proud,
stores.
not proud at all of its politics, because it is also a bit backwards and a bit slow paced. But it's a Commonwealth, like Pennsylvania and Massachusetts, and like only one other state.
What
Can't
does
buy
that mean,
booze past 11.
It's things like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
It's
see.
Like, what the fuck is that? It's like this weird Christian shit where
Yeah,
I'm like,
where they don't sell condoms, they don't know what they are, kind of thing.
oh,
Not that bad.
Not that
Oh,
bad.
okay.
You gotta have, but maybe you can't buy those after 11. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah,
I don't
something
know.
weird. But it's, so close to DC, but
Yeah.
also essentially the gateway to the south. So it's
Yeah.
really weird.
Yeah.
The
Do
kind
you
of
miss
mix-
The
it?
gateway to Mordor.
Ooh, love those books. Oh.
Yeah, me too.
I miss it. I miss it. It's a yearning that can be satiated with like a week-long visit.
Yeah, same here.
I think I could get. That's all I need is a visit. I don't hate Virginia. I'll say that. I don't miss it. Okay, but I definitely hate the Deep South. But I definitely don't miss Virginia. I would say the Virginia is not the Deep South, but it is the gateway to the Deep South.
You start to dabble in the Deep South.
You dabble in it, and
Whoa, this sounds like some sort of portal.
it's just like fantasy novels.
Well, it's funny because you'll go from DC, which DC is backwards as well, although weed is legal there, which is cool.
Politically, it's
Oh,
backwards.
I
It's
didn't
just,
know that.
it's just not backwards in like the southern way, but backwards is in like it's weird. It's a weird place.
DC?
Like it's not
Oh,
as
yeah,
liberal as
politically.
you would expect, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
Or just everything is politicized. Everything's political.
If you go there, and you strike up a conversation in a bar, you're guaranteed to get this question, followed by this question: "Hey, what do you do? What do you do?
I'm an actor.
Oh, that's nice. What do you really do?"
Yeah.
That's what you'll get for
How much
sure.
do you make? Maybe. Okay, so I kind of compare it to
gosh.
what people talk about LA like. Like
Only
I've never been.
politics. Whereas
I've-
LA, it's
yeah.
like you're an actor. You've got to be
Yeah.
an actor or a
Yeah.
musician or something like that.
But there's a little
Political
swarminess to like
Yeah.
the upper level. There's like
Yeah.
the hipster. I'm not calling us hipsters in a bad way, but we're like a youthful artistic movement. All of us and our friends. There is that there as well.
Yeah.
But there's
Phonetic theater.
yeah, but there's also above that is the formal and business part of it, which is I compare the two to what I hear LA is like. Like I just compare it to that type of swarminess.
Yeah, where people are there to move forward.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a little fake.
To climb a ladder.
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, I won't be visiting very many times. Just kidding.
Well,
No, I recommend it. I actually
visit DC for free museums.
Yes.
All the
Yes.
Smithsonian's are
Oh
free.
yes, I have heard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I recommend visiting DC. I highly recommend visiting DC.
Well, I was there once for we played a wedding there, and it was so strange, and it kind of felt like a dream. Maybe this is a normal day, but we had like 2 hours to kill after we'd set up and everything, and people were just running everywhere, but they weren't joggers, and there were no cars on the streets, and they were just running in and out of places. We stopped in one of the restaurants to eat, and then we finally figured out what's going on. It was like a citywide scavenger hunt.
oh,
And
wow.
I'm telling you,
weird.
there must have been like hundreds of people that were all involved in this large scavenger hunt. So I
Yeah.
was thinking maybe my impression of DC was that it loves to play fun games, which
Nice.
is not
Cool.
what you guys are describing.
It's
so
Easter every day in DC.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. It's I like it.
yeah.
I like Virginia. DC's pretty cool. I grew up going there for
Yeah.
shows and
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sports. All of that. All right.
Next segment.
Okay.
What is
yes.
the next segment? What do you want
I
it to
don't
be,
know.
Tony?
Well, we're not gonna do Ass Sack and Tony.
No.
Although I think maybe that's always a fun one, but we cut
we're
it
not
out.
prepared for that.
We're not prepared for
We're
it.
doing this instead.
Oh.
So I think, do you want to do the current event and lead it into this? And
I
then
think we
we'll
should
end on the review of Ribfest.
Yeah, we'll do the current event. Perfect. You're a genius.
It's
That's
lovely.
why I hang out
Sounds
with you.
great.
Thanks, listeners, for going through our process with us.
No, you guys get it. It's
Yeah, if you're still listening, the
Mom.
And we know you are.
Moms.
because you're bored at work or something. This is our current event for the week. Is they are developing a shared street up in Uptown, off of the Argyle Red Line stop. We actually talked about this privately, non-recorded, just before we pressed record. But if you're in Chicago or you live around Uptown or just on the north side, you probably have been past Little Vietnam if you have a hankering for pho or however the hell you say that damn soup.
I don't know. Soup.
How do you say it?
I've heard both, and I never say it by myself.
I don't let them say it.
I don't
let me say it.
I always wait for someone else to say it and then say it like
PHO,
Oh, I hear they
right?
have good. What's that soup called? Yeah.
PHO.
Paho.
Anyway, that area is getting what they're calling a shared street, meaning they're going to essentially brick over the middle of the street and create little elevations. I don't even know. They're not speed bumps because they'll go on for several yards down the street, but forcing cars to essentially slow down and allowing pedestrians to walk freely through the street.
Chinatown and
Like
L.A.
Like Chinatown in LA, or I think there's even a part of Chinatown here in Chicago that has that, and a little bit like the stretch of Lincoln Square.
Which, which I like. I like the in my head. I like the idea of this, and now that we've been talking about it, I think they've been planning this for a few years. I remember hearing about this years ago, I believe.
They must have, but they've been doing construction for the last few months. I know.
Right.
Well,
good idea. I think it's good. I just think it's good for a community. I think it's good for a community, and I think it'll foster a specific economy, a little micro economy for that tiny little area, and people will be more willing to want to hang out there. Young kids will want to hang out there if it's like I'm envisioning in my mind. And I think that community will kind of foster the areas around it, grow the areas around it a little bit.
You mean Uptown as a whole?
Well, because you gotta live around there if you like that area. If you want to live near that area, and it just sounds like a good idea. It sounds like it's something that will make the value of the property go up. It sounds like something that'll make businesses want to come there, and people want to live there. And
seems like it'll introduce the word pleasant to that area.
Yes.
Because right now there's nothing quite pleasant about it.
No, it's kind of shady.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So
it's a weird
mixture.
It's almost it's not gentrification. It's almost is, but they're keeping it
Little
Korean.
Vietnam.
They're keeping it little. Excuse me, Jesus, that was racist. Is it Little Vietnam? Is that what it's gonna be?
Well, that's what it always is.
Okay,
and always has been.
Sure,
but
I said Korean though. That's what the racist part is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
nobody heard it until you said it again.
Oh well, I gotta out myself. I gotta out myself.
Anyway, Little Vietnam will still be there, I think.
And this is Green Mill and all of that jazz too, right?
Well, yeah. I
hope so.
I suppose it could definitely. Green Mill is a bit south of there,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but it would run like it's just a few blocks south of there. So Green Mill is there. I also saw a show up there recently on Broadway, just north of Argyle, in this theater. It was the Haymarket the Musical or something like that. And it was in this theater. It's a brand new theater. It almost looked like they cut a high school auditorium like in thirds and took the third with the stage and dropped it on Broadway in Uptown. And it was very nice. It was a very nice space, and it was proscenium and all that stuff. But, but that that seems like it's just gonna be like happening.
Yeah. I like it.
I like it.
I like the idea of it.
Anyway, that'll be unveiled July 7th. Were you gonna add something?
No, I was just gonna say we approve.
We approve.
Message.
Yeah. This podcast approves. July 7th. See what Argyle Red Line stop in Little Vietnam, Tony, has to offer.
You guys go to Little Vietnam. I'll be at Little Korea. That is south of... That is south of North Korea. So, I'll be over there. I hear they're doing great things with their community over there. They're also having, big speed bumps.
They elevate things, too. So.
Yeah. Great food.
I hear they're more fashionable than the Vietnamese, that little Korean town. Oh. That's what I actually hear about Korea, is they're extremely fashionable. Yeah, the South Koreans.
Kidding. I'm going to have to Google image that as well.
Yeah.
Korean fashion.
Yes, I actually knew that.
And they are really into makeup and hair and all that stuff.
I actually knew that. Yeah.
Is it distinct? I mean, is it like what you would see in a magazine, or is it its own?
Well, the number one place in the world for... It's also a bad thing. The number one place in the world for plastic surgery is Korea.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, it blows away, apparently, like L.A. I am bashing the fuck out of LA.
LA fucking sucks.
I don't even mean to.
Sorry.
I haven't even meant to. I don't have anything against LA.
Well,
But they're just
now you hate
swarmy,
it,
fake, plastic-tittied people.
And DC is swarmy, pantsuit wearing fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Indiana's dumb.
Indiana's dumb.
And I guess only Chicago's cool. So fuck everything else.
And I want some pho.
Yeah.
Some pho.
Full pho. Now.
From Little Koreatown. Anyways, I don't know what we're gonna call this next segment. I just wrote this shit today.
Let me explain this.
Okay.
Zach sent an email out the other day where he's constantly trying to come up with segments. If you don't know this and you're a listener, moms, if you don't know this and you're a listener, Zach is incredibly professional and always trying to think of new, greater schemes and ideas for the show. And this idea of his was he wanted to maybe start writing a skit once a week, every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whatever he decides, whatever we decide. And I thought it was a great idea. It's just something stupid. Me and Kasey, I've read half of it. Well, I've read all of it. I'm not gonna lie. I just didn't want. I didn't want Kasey to feel like she was the only one that hasn't read it.
I think I'm liking the idea though of springing it on the guest.
That's what I like too.
Yeah.
Because especially the way we started to practice it, we started practicing it.
Because someone like you was gonna go ham. And
And then she just jumped right into it, and I was like, I want to be surprised by what she does. I want to laugh. I want the ability to laugh at this.
Pressure.
So it's a short skit. It's probably about.
So you'd better be funny.
You're fucked. It's and we're gonna see. Yeah, if it sucks, it sucks. If it doesn't suck, it doesn't suck.
What should we call this?
I think I was gonna say we should call it 3 minutes of pain.
Ooh.
Welcome to 3 Minutes of Pain.
Yeah.
This
We don't have to name it that, but that's just
this painful
sketch
was written by me, Zach Finch.
How long did it take you to write this skit of pain?
Maybe an hour, but that's because I stopped and
started working at
did
work
work
again.
at work. And
Writing
instead
with
of,
your own blood.
that's where the pain comes
That's why
in.
you passed out.
Passed.
My veins started to dry up on me.
Anyway, this is The Shared Street by Zach Finch.
Who's going to read as the... What are they called?
Stage directions.
Stage direction.
I'll read the stage directions as well.
All right.
The Shared Street by Zach Finch. A pedestrian walks along down a sidewalk and stops at an intersection. He notices that just across the intersection is a new form of street. This is the brand new shared street that he had been hearing so much about in local blogs. As the light changes, the pedestrian takes off into the middle of the shared street while saying, "Oh, good day! Finally a place where I can feel safe to wander about for new perspective, or even drunkenly stumble on my walks back from the local pub." At that moment, a cyclist comes zipping by while shouting to the heavens,
What sweet wonder is this? Finally, a street set up for me to be allowed to swerve side to side, back and forth. I can bunny hop or pop a wheelie without fear of collision.
"Hey!" Cycle turns and sees Ped's angry face while simultaneously a car pulls out onto the shared street as well from a different intersection.
Well, look at this fucking horse shit. All these wild walking cycling hippies running amok on the street that I used to be able to fly down as fast as possible so I can get to my ass home. My sweet ass home. Typo. Sweet ass home when I needed it to piss.
All of a sudden, Cycle rams head on into Otto and flips over the hood.
Ah, shit!
At this moment, Ped runs up to the scene angry and begins yelling at the cyclist. Hey, asshole! You could have broken my something or other if you'd run into me back there. This is a shared street now, and you gotta watch out for us pedestrians.
Listen, fuckface, can you give me a minute to recover from this goddamn land shark attack?
Land shark?
That's what I call these big metal monsters. They sometimes stalk you for blocks and rear end you, or they can also just come out of fucking nowhere and smash into you.
Hey, fucktard. You ran into me. You better not have dented my... God damn it. God fucking damn it. I just got a dent buffed out of there. Exact same goddamn fucking spot.
Did you hit another bicycler?
Probably. Classic driver. Doesn't care about anything from the environment right down to paying attention while operating a giant metal land shark.
Okay. Easy does it there, overly pretentious environmental warrior. Let's not forget about you ran into me. Not to mention, this new roadway is entirely shareable, meaning everyone is free to use the street safely.
I know, right? Isn't it awesome? Except I did almost get run over by this bicycler.
Well. There's the pot going to calling the kettle black again.
First of all, it's cyclist. Bicycler sounds derogatory, but perhaps this time I should have been on a closer lookout. I was totally stoked and surprised by this brand new street, which is...
entirely shareable, I know. Whoop-de-frickin'
You don't seem too excited there, car driving guy.
Driver is fine, freak. And that's just... Wait. And it's just that this is straight through my route home. When they started construction, it was a pain in the ass. But I thought what they were doing was widening the road and the sidewalk separately, making it more convenient drive for the cars and a safer walk for the pedestrians. Seemed like it was going to be an improvement. This is just a clusterfuck.
You left out cyclist, douche.
Yeah, that was on purpose.
Hey, come on, guys. Everyone seems to be okay.
Except my freshly dented ride.
At least you won't be crawling around with a sore back, shoulder, and knee as well for the next few months.
Pay attention.
Shareable street!
Look, guys. I know bikes don't like cars and vice versa, but we are standing on the first ever road where travelers of all sorts are supposed to join together and look out for one another. Sure, it may seem confusing now, and maybe even frustrating, but think. One of these days, roadways like this will help everyone get from point A to point B that much more safe and that much more happy.
Bravo, pedo. What'd you do, stay up all night writing that little speech knowing you'd run into an accident or two out here on the inaugural shared street day?
Yeah, pedestrian. Don't think you are all squeaky clean just because all you do is walk. You're hated just as much as the rest of us.
Is that so?
Fucking A right it is. I can't stand you motherfuckers just popping out from behind a truck in the middle of the street.
Or when you assholes take your sweet-ass time jaywalking across an intersection that has already changed to don't walk. I mean, show a little fucking hustle, for God's sake.
Talk about paying attention. Every last one of you pedestrians walks around with some headphones in while staring at a freaking phone. I mean, what could possibly be so important that tiny little computer as you walk across a giant 6-way intersection? Get it together.
For once, bike boy, I think I agree with you. Bike girl.
I'm a girl.
What is gender?
Otto and cyclists bump fists and look at Ped, as if they've won a schoolyard insult off. Hey, fuck you guys, you know? Everyone's concerned about bikes and cars. Bikes and cars is all anyone can blog about anymore on the transportation front. You want to know why I walk? Because I am too uncoordinated to bike and too poor to drive, alright? So just consider yourselves lucky I'm not clogging the roadways on a suicide or death machine, because that is what those are, respectively. Now this is supposed to be a glorious thing, something that the fair people of this city did for all of us, to unite us, to stop the senseless travel accidents of the pedestrians, cyclists, and yes, even the automobiles. Now, if you both are done insulting each other, as well as me, I say we go to the bar over there, have a drink, and find some commonality, and depending on how drunk we get, this driving motherfucker can drive us all home. What do you say?
Well, I mean, I should probably put ice on my joints, but,
I got kids I gotta pick up from the hospital.
First round's on me.
Ah!
The end. All right.
Yeah,
If only all news was like that.
I like 3 minutes of pain now, especially if we're springing it on the guest. I essentially spring it on myself, and you definitely kind of spring on yourself too. You wrote this today, right?
Yeah, basically.
It's
not like I read it over and over again. Or
No, this is
certainly didn't memorize it.
I like this one. I think we should keep it and whenever we want to throw it in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kasey?
Love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Fucking love it.
We got a new segment, moms.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. All right, last but not least is the review, and I think that we should do Ribfest, and we can tack on Chicago Street Fest in general, since you were probably not there, since you were out of town, I believe.
Oh yes, it already happened.
Oh, it's done.
Oh, okay, yes.
That's why we're reviewing it.
Yeah.
It all makes sense to me now.
Things, we reviewed things that we haven't experienced. Well, I haven't experienced before.
Yes.
Other people have.
We're going to start trying to...
Did you both go?
He Man Called Noon played.
Okay.
And I was there.
Okay.
I hardly remember being there, though.
I see.
Pretty
As
drunk.
any good street fester would.
Everybody got pretty
exactly.
drunk. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. You go first.
Okay, I'll take from my the workers' perspective.
Yeah, because you worked it.
Loved playing it. They took really good care of us. We filmed a quick 1 man, 2 beers, 3 question there, with our guest being the Awesome Monster Podcast Group. 2/3 of the Awesome Monster Podcast Group. Nicholas Taylor was absent. And then we did a quick Awesome Monster podcast with our new keyboardist, Nathan Crone. Shout out, what's up?
Sup?
And then we went backstage and we discovered they had a keg for us. Some free beer. Started drinking. Had a great time playing. Jumped off the stage at one point. Best part was when I jumped off the stage, there was a little kid in the audience, like 2.5, maybe. And he was like doing this movement. And I'm moving, for people who can't see me, which is everyone, he was doing this, the knee thing where he's moving his knees up and down. Kind of like he's like taking a quick dump every half second.
Sure.
Right?
Bobbing his ass up and down.
Bobbing his ass up and down. And like he was loving it. And when I was over at one side of the crowd, and I was like, rah, screaming, and I looked over at him, and I thought he was going to be running away. But he didn't. He was still there bobbing his butt up and down. And I moved over to him slowly, and I thought he would run away. And then he didn't. He just moved closer to me, and then he put his hand up to give me a high five. Well, I put my hand up, and he knew what was happening. And I gave him a high five. And he was totally cool, but I was like, you were going to be the coolest kid in high school. You're gonna be the coolest kid in high school. That's what it is. You're gonna
Dancing
be
at Ribfest.
varsity letterman, even if you can't play sports. Yeah, it was super cool. It was so cute. And then after that, I sold some tickets and sold some merch. Met more fans, more little kid fans, which was super cool. Like there was tons of little kids at Ribfest, which was like
I can see it.
I'm
North Center as a neighborhood is like a family neighborhood.
It's a family neighborhood, yeah.
Sure.
And like I sold like shirts and stuff, and then we went backstage, got hammered off the free beer. Then we went to Fort on Little, what's it called? Right across the street from Rocks.
Fort on like, Little. It's an Iowa bar, University of Iowa bar or something like that.
Yeah, and we had like 6 Goldschlagers with Tabasco sauce.
Gosh. Jesus,
with Tabasco.
They're called Red Hots. It's like a better tasting to me. I don't like sweet shots. I don't like Fireball and any of that stuff. But this, you put Fireball in it, it tastes like a Red Hot candy, and it's really. It's if people want to give me a sweet shot, that's the one you give me.
You hear that, fans and mom?
Mom. Mrs. Fitch and Mrs. Gianmichael. And then we came back here and we got obliterated. And I'll let Zach take over from there about the obliteration. I got very obliterated. Zach got more obliterated, and Dave got even more obliterated than him. And Dave's the bassist of Man Called Noon.
Yeah. Well, so I thought it would be a good idea to bring a flask into the festival, right?
Because you didn't know.
It was.
You didn't know what to expect.
A plastic flask. They weren't tagging anybody down.
I mean, it's a good idea if you're not a lush like me. But I mean, because the beers are overpriced, everything in there is overpriced. Yeah. Everything in every street festival, I believe, is going to be overpriced. But so that's one knock on Ribfest and festivals. But
festivals period.
Festivals period. I just drank whiskeys, and what I didn't expect was for people to be buying me beers at the festival. So your dad came up to me with a beer. Our buddy Rob Fenton, who you may know, he came up to me and gave me a beer. Mm-hmm. Where were you in a show with him?
The Steppenwolf thing.
Oh, the Garage Rep?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've seen that show too. I've seen you so many times.
We go way back.
I told
we
you.
are close friends.
I told you she knows everybody.
Yeah.
So,
but I know it's the amount of times I've seen her. I didn't realize what point was... You are 5 different people to me. And they're all coming together as the same person.
Here at the
Sounds like
Zach
a pretty
and
cool
Tony show.
superhero. But wait, okay, so you had beers being brought to you.
And the flask. And
the
I'm
flask.
helping his mom at the merch table. I also do the podcast and things. I help out there as well. I hold the camera and shit like that. And then I'm drinking beer and whiskey at the merch table, having a great time. Nodding my head, singing along where I can, pointing and pumping. Oh, I'm bringing that back. Ooh, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Pointing and pumping. One of these, Yes.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
I thought you were like this thing, but
You're like, that thing's awesome.
Yep. That right
I've never
there.
done
I like
that.
that.
Right
I like
there. That's a point and
Oh
pump.
man, I'm so stoked to try it.
And then I went. He spelled me from the merch table once he was done because I was pretty drunk by that point. It starts to get fuzzy around there. And then I remember going home, which is, the Rib Fest is right on Irving Park, Lincoln, and Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's right down the street. Well, my house is, like, around the corner. Like, if I wasn't at Rib Fest, I'd have been able to hear Man Called Noon playing at Rib Fest because that's, like, how close my house was. So I just went over there. And I think I considered not coming here for the little after party because of how drunk I was. But ultimately, people brought me along, and then it just gets silly from there. And
your best friends and your girlfriend brought you along.
Brought me over.
So wait,
it's hard for you to say no to
your
that.
house and then left
And
again?
then left it
See,
again.
That's impressive.
To
That's
be
not
fair,
normal.
well, Zach blacked out, but to be fair, everybody got their own particular high level of whiskey that night.
It was silly.
Everybody got, like some people black out when they can drink like a 24-pack like Zach and a bottle of whiskey. he's a big guy, And
they've been drinking a long time,
they've been
kids.
drinking
Don't
a lot of
try it
practice.
at home.
Yeah. But everybody got their particular form of very, very, very wasted. At one point, my bassist, Dave...
Just kept giving shots out.
Well, Dave had it out for Zach, which
Yeah.
also means he had it out for himself, because he was super excited about drinking with you. And I remember saying to him on the way
Which
there...
he was on the podcast days before.
Days before.
So we were drinking together anyways.
Yes.
Anyways, don't
But
even.
you're a very likable guy. You know
Yeah.
this.
He just wanted to
He's a very
test the limits.
fun guy to party with. So he was like, every time, like, Zach, we're drinking shots with Zach, we're getting Zach drunk, getting this guy drunk. So later on that night, actually, Dave was, like, stumbled a little bit or something. Gabriella saw it, my sister. Mm-hmm. And he bumped into something, and I didn't see it. And then he was, like, embarrassed because he was so drunk. He left. No, not only left, like, ran out the house. like
Dave?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, just, like, gone. Like, ghosted. And then, like, an hour later, I'm like, where the fuck did Dave go? And Gabrielle was like, he was embarrassed because... That was my drunk impression. He was embarrassed because...
She was as bad as me.
She was as bad as Zach.
Yeah.
Because he did this, and I was like, really? And his wife, Stephanie, who's also in the band, was like, shakes her head and is like, gone. So, yeah. What do you think of festivals?
What do you think of street festivals?
Well, I think that, because I've been to quite a few, and
You can't miss them here.
you really can.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought of this funny sketch someday that somebody should make a short video out of, if anybody else thinks it's funny, but that a person in a car is trying to get around a fest, but they keep running into another one. Because I feel like that happened before. Anyway.
I can definitely see that
Trying
happening.
to head west, but everywhere I turned, I was like, it's a different festival. But one of my favorite festivals, because I remember as a kid when you would go to a fest, or I guess it was more of a carnival, there were like dumb little games, and there were still occasionally carnies. But you don't get carnies anymore at any of the street fests except for the Little Italy Fest. There you will find some carnies.
Leave it up
Italians.
to
Yes.
a Dago.
But that was like, I had been going to all these Chicago street fests. I didn't even, like, had forgotten that carnies even existed at that point, and then I was at that fest, and I was like, oh my gosh,
yes,
throw a ring around a bottle with a carny, yes. So I thought that was fun, and yeah, I mean, it's just fun to be on a street,
right,
drinking in
no
the middle
traffic.
of the day
Yeah.
with friends or strangers, and you always just have like that people watching thing that happens too, and they're always fun. It's just a different change of. I say street fests are great.
Nice. We're going to go around and give, a sort of 2 thumbs up type of rating. I don't know what
Okay.
it's going to be. It could be anything that you want, any body
Okay.
part, any action. Mine is going to be points and pumps.
Okay.
Because I just recollected that. Mm-hmm. Tony, how many things do you give street festivals?
I gave it 2, and I mean that in a good way. So that's just the same way as 2 thumbs. Because they paid me well. They gave me free beer, and I got wasted with my friends and family.
Yeah, you definitely have had a better time than me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give it 3 point and pumps.
Ooh.
Out of?
Out of how many? Yeah.
10. No.
Oh.
No.
Dang.
No. 7.
7.
3 of 7.
Yes.
Okay.
So
well,
almost half.
Festivals in general, or just Ribfest?
Festivals in general, because
Yeah.
I am after my experience, I'm on the negative side of day drinking.
yes, because it can get you
In trouble.
Trouble.
Yeah.
Pain, yeah.
And pain. Yeah.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 5 karate chops, if that's acceptable to you.
Oh yeah, big time.
I would give Chicago Street Fests 3.5 karate chops.
It's not bad.
Damn, that's
So,
really
so
good.
that's like hitting neck, hitting
then-
neck, and then you stop like Elvis.
Yeah.
And you don't karate chop
Leave them
Just
worried.
scared, yeah.
Just like, wow, that guy Elvis hit me 4 times.
Yeah, exactly.
So you heard it here, folks. It's 3.5 karate chops, 3 point and pumps, and 2.
Yeah, that's good. It's good sound. It's decent.
All right, that's it for today's episode.
Woo woo.
We're gonna go through plugs again real quick. You can find Kasey Foster all over the friggin' city, but most importantly,
Dance Tribute to Jock Jams on July 25th. Grud is opening at the Park Grill, starting Lollapalooza off. I forget the date for that, damn it. And then Old Timey's going to play July 10th at the California Clipper.
okay, so that's July 25th is the dance tribute to Jock Jams at Martyrs in the North Center neighborhood. You've got Grud just before Lollapalooza at what now?
The Park Grill,
The Park Grill?
which is on the, what is that thing called that's by the beach? It's that
The
place.
Riverwalk?
that- Yes, it's
Okay.
on the Riverwalk.
On the Riverwalk.
Sand?
How do you say beach?
The beach?
And then finally Old Timey,
Old Timey, July 10th at the California Clipper.
July 10th at the California Clipper. Tony!
Boom.
Do you have any Twitter handles or websites?
I just have my website and Facebook.
KaseyFoster.com.
Yeah.
KaseyFoster.com.
KaseyFoster.com.
Boom, 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 boom. For Man Cold Noon, I'll say it every goddamn time. Sorry, Grandma, for saying the GD.
Sorry, Grandma.
Sorry, Grandmas.
Sorry, Grams.
But go to www.mancoldnoon.com. That's www.mancoldnoon.com. You can hear all of our music. You can buy our shit. And you will then go straight to our Facebook page and like our Facebook page and
And subscribe on YouTube.
to mancoldnoon.com. And then after that, I want you to go straight to Zach and Tony's show Facebook page where me and Zach
Get silly.
all the time.
Uh-huh.
And Zach's constantly posting great promotional material about Zach and Tony's show.
And everything. All of our guests.
And all of our guests, yep.
All that shit.
Yeah.
You can catch me every Tuesday at Finley Dunn's doing comedy. You can... I'm in a play every Saturday in August called The Right Amount of Tequila at Gorilla Tango Theater. And keep checking out those Facebook pages. Thanks, everybody. Love you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Kasey, especially.
We're going to go film One Man, Two Beers, 3 Questions.
Have a great, gay old time.
Sociopath.
Borderline.
Hashtag soul sociopath. What do I press?
Borderline
To
sociopath.
go out tonight, I'm down if you are too. You're carrying all the hate, I'm carrying a grudge I got to lose. On a walk to get to the ride, you're all screams in the night, but nothing is a return, just the echo in what it learned. Oh, come on, let's just dance tonight, because everyone is lonely in the mud and light. Well, oh, come on, let's but you're always mad dog when you're out of money. Before we get to the door, I long drag a smoke that I roll. Because outside the club, everyone's cool and it's quietly smug. Oh,